Delicious. Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be with you all. It's the morning briefing on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. It is great to be with you all. What a show we've got for you this morning. There is so much incredible stuff going on. I don't know what's going to be next. Maybe it's going to be blue marlin, as Captain Tommy Holland suggests. With all this Dorado around in this warm water, well, you know what blue marlin like to munch on. They love to munch on those Dorado, and there are copious amounts of Dorado here right now. 171 Dorado on the native sun yesterday, and an absolutely magnificent day. We also have some great drone footage for you from kelp down in San Diego. Also, you'll see a 190-pound fish come over the rail, and something is brewing at Blacktail Hooks between Sky and Yezi as this competition broke out on board the Amigo. You'll hear about that. And of course, tonight we're going to have a very special guest on the Friedman Adventures live podcast. It's going to be Joseph Martinez, who recently caught that 315-pound bluefin tuna on board the Endeavor out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing. You'll be able to ask Joseph any question you like. Then we'll be joined by Jason, Chef Jason, who'll be talking about some of his experiences here recently. And Anthony Amalfitano will be there. He's been on a private boat fishing this stuff. It's been incredible. We've got so much for you. And remember to pay attention here during the morning briefing, because Anthony Amalfitano will have some questions tonight that could pay off big for you. If you answer the question right, you might get a free gift tonight. And also, the Friedman Adventure family out fishing on a local private boat. My son Philip, and he had a magnificent trip thanks to Travis Strain and his father and the other guys that were on board that trip. We've got some footage from that. It has been a spectacular week. First of all, I talk a lot about the Friedman Adventure family, and part of that family is someone named Alejandra Lopez. My kids and her kids went to school together at Nativity Catholic School over in Torrance, California, and then on to Bishop Montgomery. Anyway, Ali has some family down in Mexicali, and just a couple days ago, they had a fire. It burned down the trailer that they lived in and a lot of the adjacent buildings that were around there, and they're left with absolutely nothing. So Alejandra said, we're going to go down there, take some clothing, take some stuff down. What can we do? And of course, all of you have been donating all year long to our efforts for our January mission down in Mexico, where we're going to take a lot of stuff. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff. And then I turned to another Friedman Adventure family member, Joe Gallagher, who's storing all this stuff. I said, Joe, can I come over on Wednesday and go through all the stuff? I know it's wrapped up. I know your guys have gone through a lot of effort to do that. And of course, Joe, with open arms, said, get on over here. So Wednesday, Alejandra and I are going to go to La Mirada and pick out a bunch of great clothing and other necessities for the folks who suffered in that fire, and then she's going to take it down. So once again, it's not me, it's all of you, and I thank you so very, very much. All right, let's look at this drone footage that Jeff Frost shot. He's on an 18-foot skiff. He was very low on fuel, 30 miles from Point Loma, when he shot this drone footage for you, and it just shows how much fish are around right now, and it is mind-boggling. I mean, Sean Morgan the other day was saying there are millions of Dorado, and when you first hear that, you think to yourself, all right, there goes Morgan again, exaggerating. I really don't think it's an exaggeration. It isn't an exaggeration. There literally are millions of Dorado, especially if you take it from down there at the tip of Baja all the way up. There's Dorado all the way up, and the biomass of that Dorado, well, I don't want to say the biomass, but a lot of it now is up here off LA Orange County areas, with Dana Wharf Sport Fishing cashing in with some big scores on the Dorado and so much more. We're going to get into all of that, but I wanted to show you that drone footage to start things out. And the bluefin tuna. There's a lot of local fish here also. Wait till you hear what my son Philip saw with Travis Strain the other day. They had Absolutely magnificent fishing. Let's take you south of the border, start you down there in Ensenada. Arnie Man has been all over the kelp pad. He fish. He is a great guy. You should check him out on Facebook. Arnie Man, A-R-N-I-E, Man. He runs a pond out of Ensenada. You can join him and have a really fun days fishing with Dorado, with yellowtail on the kelps. More Dorado though. See more striped marlin. Will there be a blue marlin? Will there be a wahoo in all this warm water? Those are things that will unfold in the very near future. More yellowfin tuna down there. Arnie pointed that out a few days ago. We continue to see it down in San Diego, and man, it just couldn't be a better scenario because we have this warm water, all these tropical and subtropical fish, and now we start to move into our best weather months. Incidentally, 2 spots on the Amigo. If you want them, you better hurry. Just look in the show description, today's show description here on the YouTube channel, and you'll see our remaining 3 charters. We have a 2-day trip on the Amigo, a 2-day trip on the Pride with 4 openings, I think, in September, and then a final 2-day trip on the Pride in October. You're not going to want to miss any one of those. This is the year for you to realize your sport fishing dreams, and it is pretty darn incredible. So we'll continue to watch that for you very, very, very closely as things continue to move along. Now, let's get you down to the San Diego-based boats, and there's so much to talk about. First of all, there's still kelps loaded with Dorado down there. So like on the Mustang, they had great Dorado fishing. Several other boats hammered it out. Great limit style Dorado fishing. There are misses. Remember, kelp patty fishing, you got to find the kelp with the horseshoe. It's a numbers game. The more kelps you find, the better you do. So you've got to work hard at finding those kelps, and like the Mustang did, they had magnificent fishing. They also, however, hit another kelp later on in the day, and it was loaded with 5 to 10 pound yellowtail. A lot of fish in that 8 to 12 pound class. Good grade forkies on the kelps right now, and they threw on 50 plus on the yellowtail. And they also had 8 yellowfin tuna. That is some pretty darn good fishing, if you ask me. It simply doesn't get much better than that. Now we're also seeing really big schools of erupting yellowfin and bluefin tuna very near the Coronado Islands. It is really finicky still, but as days go by, every single day goes by, it gets better and better and better, and it's looking like it could blow sky high at any point in time. A couple of photos sent in by Scott Buchert from the Malihini yesterday. They're seeing really a lot of fish right now. How about that photo with Maggie and Scott? Maggie McDaniels is cooking on board the Malihini. Her husband, Mike, runs the Sea Adventure 80, and she takes good care of Scott, and Scott takes good care of her. So great to see those two and those big smiles. Really awesome, and really a lot of tuna pushing into the Coronado Islands. So overnight boats have a shot at some nighttime bluefin tuna, also some really loaded up kelps, and now on the way home, I mean, virtually you're only 12 miles, 15 miles from Point Loma, and you're still in yellowfin and bluefin tuna, still have a chance to fish. So you're virtually fishing 24/7. Multi-day trips out of San Diego. A lot of those guys are going up to the San Clemente Island area where there is so much bluefin tuna. I mean, when you think about what's going on right now, all of that fish erupting down there around the Coronado Islands. Erupting, I mean showing, okay? It doesn't always bite. And then it just stretches up to past San Clemente Island, out there towards Santa Barbara Island. There's so much fish right now that it's incredible. If this really ever went nuts and started to bite, it's great right now. It's beyond great right now. It's phenomenal right now, but it could even get better. So those guys are up there. Some nights you get 1 or 2 or 3 fish. Other nights you do really, really well. San Diego-based boats are up there. The Amigo was up there recently. In fact, let's talk about that. Blacktail hooks. We love blacktail hooks. They are our hook of choice. They work so good. They're affordable. They're great stuff. The Amigo had a charter just the other day, and Sky, the owner of Blacktail Hooks, incidentally, Sky is such a nice guy and so much fun to hang out with. Anyway, they had a trip on board the Amigo. You can see some big bluefin coming on board that one. They had 3 bluefin, a couple of 80-pounders. Sky had one of those fish, but something nefarious sinister perhaps is going on at Blacktail Hooks. There's this competition between Sky and Yezi, who also works there, is starting to really come together. I mean, the competition is beyond belief. Yezi had 4 yellowtail, and Sky, he had less than 4 yellowtail. I forget what he had. Anyway, these two are battling it out on board the Amigo the other day. Sky had that big bluefin. Yezi did not get a bluefin. So who is declared the winner? Well, of course, the pretty girl, Yezi. She's doing a great job. She's just learning how to fish. They're both having a lot of fun. I know they had a great time on board the Amigo with my good friend Jeff Jessup, who came out to run this trip, and also Mark on deck and Nick on deck and all the great crew on board the Amigo. It was a lot of fun. Of course, I'm being a little bit facetious about that competition, friendly competition, a lot of fun and great times on board the Amigo. We'll be on there August the 31st. Can't wait to do it. Should be a great trip. So on board that trip, they had 70 yellowtail. A lot of those yellows were caught at San Clemente Island, so that bite's pretty good right now. 38 Dorado and 3 bluefin tuna. Let's switch over to a private boater, and that's going to be Travis Strain and my son Philip. We covered it, but I've got this footage for you now that I know you're going to enjoy seeing that big old bluefin tuna come over the rail. That is fantastic. Talking to my son Philip, he said later in the day it got absolutely crazy. They would throw a popper off the bow, hang a bluefin tuna, and then right next to them, another spot would come up, and they throw a popper on that and get bit. They were getting bit big time on the troll, with the Mad Max working really, really well, and the shredder bars also working really, really well. Philip's tip was that if you don't see any fish, there's nothing up boiling, but you're in the area, troll those Mad Max at about 12.5 knots. This is for you private boaters. If you do see the fish up, spreader bars at about 8 knots work best of all. And once again, way back there, those fish want to bite those things way, 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 way back there. They did get bit on the poppers a lot. They got into a situation where they hung a 100-pounder on like bass gear. I mean, really light stuff. 2 hours on that 100-pounder. They got them on board. It was a phenomenal day. And this is the Friedman Adventure family once again coming together. Travis Strain, he'll be watching our live show tonight. I know he will, because he's such a great supporter of ours, and we deeply appreciate it, and so happy that Philip was able to participate in such a magnificent trip. Man, what a wonderful trip. No question about it. And all this fish, it's biting for the private guys, it's biting for the sport boat guys. It's really, really good. Talking about, I don't even know why I waited this long. They had to have hooked 300, 400 Dorado on the native sun yesterday to get 171 on the Dorado on a trip that left at 7 a.m. from 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. I make a big deal about magnificent fishing out of San Diego on those 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. boats all the time. We've got it going in our own backyard. Look at that flat, calm ocean out there. What a day it's going to be today, because it's getting better and better and better. As I told you, when fish first move into an area, they're a little bit lost. First, there's the language barrier. They're coming from Mexico, and everybody up here speaks English. And there's water temperature and bait, and they've got to get used to everything. They're settling in, they're getting acclimated, and they are getting ready. I mean, they're biting. And I think it's only going to get better. Tremendous score on the native sun. Dana War Sport Fishing, the boys down there had some great fishing. 66 flatheads on board the Freelance. Gale Force 65 Dorado, and that was with novice anglers, so-called rent rodders. Once again, I love when I see that kind of a score with rental gear. That tells me the crew, Gale Force, my hat's off to you. Great job teaching how to catch fish. Those guys, you don't think they're going to come back? You don't think they're going to come back and do that again? Of course they are. That's a great, great thing. Now, Aaron Graham, who runs the Native Sun, said, leave your Spectra at home. And I mean, that's a tough one now, because everybody's got Spectra on their reels. But he said, bring 20-pound mono, because there are so many, by the very nature of Dorado, jumping out of the water, so many tangles, you're losing a lot of your Spectra, and it's expensive. That's his suggestion. He also said, number 2 hooks were working really, really good, and 20-pound got all the bites. In a bite with 171 Dorado, I've got to surmise they were biting the heavy in that. He also said bring that 40 or 50-pound rod, sinker rig kind of thing, in case the tuna want to bite, because that is the bizarre world we're living in right now, where there are bluefin, there are mostly Dorado, there's some kelp patty yellowtail. It is absolutely mind-boggling how great the fishing is right now. So you're likely to encounter Dorado on half-day to three-quarter-day trips right now. The overnight boats are doing really well. You saw what my son Philip did on the bluefin tuna. It is completely phenomenal. You want to join us on a Friedman Adventures trip? Make sure you send me a text, 657-227-6459. Amigo, 2-day trip is going to be phenomenal. Limited to 14 anglers, and then limited to 14 on board the Pride 2 trips. Don't blow it. Go in the show description, send me a text, sign up before it is too late. And don't forget, live show tonight. I'm not finished yet, though. Let me go to the islands right now. Take you down to Todos Santos. Great yellowtail fishing going on down there off Ensenada. Great yellowtail action at the Coronado Islands. You can literally go to the Coronado Islands right now, get in on some awesome yellowtail fishing, and then pop offshore and be into yellowfin and bluefin tuna. I mean, it simply doesn't get any better than what I am describing to you right now. It's great stuff. San Clemente Island, Sky from Blacktail Hooks, when he wasn't slugging it out with Yezi, was telling me that there was some really excellent yellowtail fishing at the island itself, and then you pop offshore, you might find a kelp load with Dorado or yellowtail, and that bluefin is right there also. It's really phenomenal stuff that is going on. And we move you up in the Channel Islands. They've come down to earth after a spectacular year in the Channel Islands. Still a shot of sea bass and halibut, but not so much. A lot more emphasis on the rockfish up there right now. They're going to have some great weather here as we move into the fall. That's when we have our best weather months here in Southern California. That should continue to head in the right direction. All right. The surf, there's been some really good Corvina fishing going on. Light, mono, fluoro, carbon is what you want to use. Fluoro, best of all, www.optionusa.com. Put in FA at checkout, and you'll get a free gift as well as a handwritten note from Greg Brown. So that is something that's really important. Fishing fluoro, 6-8 pound, natural baits for the Corvina, 3-ounce chrome crocodile catching. Pretty good yellowfin croaker, especially up there around Dockweiler Beach, but anywhere along here now has been some really good fishing going on. I got to get in on that, by the way. It's about time I did that. Keep Captain Eddie Leland in your thoughts and prayers as he continues to battle with a prostate cancer. Please, 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 he needs your thoughts, positive vibes, and prayers. Thank you for everything you've donated so far this year, because we're going to be able to chip into that here on Wednesday. Alejandra Lopez and I are going to go down and pick out a bunch of stuff to take to that family in Mexicali that suffered that loss. And incidentally, kids were burned in the fire. I don't know the degree of their injuries yet. Adults were burned in the fire. We'll find out more about that as we go along. And I thank you all for donating. We'll have more of that happening this January as we'll take down literally thousands of gifts to our lovely neighbors down south, not only as a way to help those in need, but also as a way to thank Mexico and her people for providing us with such wonderful places to fish in. I sincerely mean that. All right, let me get down here. I don't know if I need a cup of coffee. I just want to check my notes one last time, make sure we're good. Aloha Spirit, Mirage up there in the Channel Islands, good rock fishing. Island Spirit up there, good rock fishing for them. Not much barracuda anymore. We're continuing to watch that. Ventura Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. We'll keep that in mind. And once again, phenomenal fishing. It's already going on here this morning. Again, there's Dorado, there's Bluefin, there's Yellowtail. It is the envy of the world right now here in northern Baja and southern California. Great fishing. Hope you continue to get out and do really, really well. Thanks again for joining us. And Yezi, Sky, Remember, life is very short for these vicious competitions. Just calm down. Yes, he won, Sky. You're going to have to get used to it. Things are going to be okay. Take care, my friends. As always, it's great to be with you. Joseph Martinez, 315-pound bluefin tuna on the Endeavor. And who knows who else. Captains are coming into 22nd Street Landing this evening, and we are going to be grabbing guys and putting them on the show. 7 p.m. tonight, Friedman Adventures Live. Thanks again. We'll see you then, my friends.